Once upon a time in a village nestled between rolling hills, there stood an old library. It was a big, beautiful building with tall windows and a pointy roof. But no one ever came to visit anymore. Its shelves were covered in dust, and its books lay unopened. One evening, a curious girl named Sara skipped down the street. She loved reading stories about magical lands and talking animals. As she passed the library, she noticed a sliver of sunlight peeking through a window. It looked like a tiny dragon trying to escape. "Hello!" she called out. When no one answered, she walked inside. As soon as she did, something magical happened. The floor beneath her feet turned into a staircase, and when she climbed to the top, it vanished. In its place was a huge blue book. "Wow," she whispered. Then she opened it, and with a whoosh of wind, the entire library lifted off the ground and began to fly across the sky like a giant bird. "The flying library is real," Sara shouted with joy, and snuggled close to a big armchair as Whiskers, her cat, joined her for the ride. They flew over forests, rivers, and mountains until the library stopped in front of a big, fluffy cloud. The books on the shelves began to flutter open, and out popped all sorts of fantastic characters. A tiny dragon sneezed fire, but only small sparks. A brave prince bowed politely. A beautiful princess twirled around, and a fairy sprinkled glowing dust all around. "You are the new keeper of stories," the fairy announced. "Only you can protect us." Sara felt a little scared, but mostly excited. She waved to the dragon, who bowed his head, and then to the prince and princess, who both curtsied. But suddenly she noticed that some books were torn with missing pages. The dragon sniffed them sadly. "Without those pages, we will fade away," he said. The princess wiped a tear from her cheek. "Don't worry," said the fairy. "I know where to find the missing pieces. Come along." The flying library drifted toward a dark, stormy cloud where the wind which cackled with laughter. She held the missing pages in her hand. "Why are you stealing our stories?" asked Sara bravely. The wind which sighed. "I was lonely. No one ever told me any stories, so I wanted to keep them for myself." Sara understood how she felt. Sometimes when she looked up at the night sky, she wished she had someone to share its beauty with. So she smiled kindly and said, "You don't have to steal them. You can join us. We'll share every story with you." The Wind Witch's eyes softened. She returned the pages, and the books became whole again. "Thank you," whispered the dragon. He sneezed a happy sparkle out of his nose. The prince bowed to the Wind Witch, and the princess offered her hand in friendship. The fairies sang a tune, and the library shone with golden light as it soared higher than ever before. All the characters cheered, and Sara laughed with delight. From that day on, the Wind Witch became the library's helper. Every night, she read stories to children, and they listened with wide eyes and ears. Sara was remembered as the girl who saved the flying library. And whenever children looked up at the night sky, they sometimes saw a glowing library floating among the stars, knowing that if they opened its magical books, they would find a world of wonder and adventure waiting for them. And that, my little friends, is the story of Sara and the flying library. Do you have a favorite character? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, stories are meant to be shared. When we share, everyone's heart becomes brighter. Until next time, keep reading, keep dreaming, and always believe in the magic of stories because that's where true adventures begin.